Okay, so on the headlight, this entire like weird back face I had to make manually, which I was trying not to have to do because it was a huge pain in the dick. But now I can super easily add your mounting tabs. And then I got to cut out the holes for the switchbacks and whatnot. Um, but yeah, so for mounting, putting the mounting tabs to mount the headlight onto the car, I'm not like that's not a concern at all. I just haven't done it yet because I have to have this other shit figured out to be able to like permanently merge them onto it because then I lose the ability to edit it at all. Yeah, so this doesn't have like the brim to wrap the headlight around it or anything like that, just on this version, but that's done. That's not like a thing that's going to take any time. And then the lens fits over this still too, which is nice. But anyway, for the headlight mounts, here's sort of what I have. Hide the back face, hide this. So this one I don't have the mount built for it. It's way simpler. It just takes a bolt straight through the side. Um, so I made this thing because the way the mounts are on this headlight, if you want to be able to remove it from the back, which makes sense if the headlight has a lens on it, the mounts have to go. The mounts are set up to where you have to like mount it to something and then put it in the back. So this is sort of what I had. This is a fucking shitload of work, but I don't know if it's the best idea. At least not on like a like simple first run of like the headlight lens. Like if we're able to do it cheaply, um, I don't think a printer will pick up the details this thing has, and then still be able to print the whole housing without sectioning it. And then there's really not a way to section the headlight and still like be able to sand the fucking join lines out of it and shit. So if we're looking at just getting something for now, um, that'll be like a 95% housing. I think we can do that without these at all. But that's going to require you to rig up something to mount these headlights in there. But here's basically what I have. So this, um the black piece is basically what I was just going to join into the housing. So this was going to be joined to that part. So you basically just be like a bolt face, like a flange to drop this into. Um, but I don't think it will print this part and this part all in one piece on a like the hot plastic type printer because it's gonna have to generate supports everywhere. And then the other problem with that is all the mounting tabs, they work best if the layer lines are like perfectly parallel to them, because otherwise like you get it like just sticking hot plastic together, and then the way the lines are printed, the tab gets really weak. So between having these mounting tabs printed this way and then the other ones that are to mount the housing to the car, they're like one of the two is going to be weak. Um, so I'm thinking about just getting rid of this entirely, and then I can do this if we end up having something printed like in resin, and then end up like doing like a super detailed version of it. Especially like if that's something you want to do and it's finalized, and then you know it's going to be the last headlight housing you're going to ever have to print, which we'll be more confident in after we print like a simpler one. Uh, but anyway, so there's the housing, and then just hide this whole light. Not that one. Okay, so basically, this was a fucking shitload of work, as you can imagine. So basically, is like a carrier that comes in, so the light would bolt to this, and then I haven't added like the bezel, like the finishing bezel to go through the front side of the light or any of that yet, but it would have a carrier, and then this black part would be solid to the housing. You'd be able to drop it in. This is made to take an O-ring as well to seal it, and then Yeah. So it's got a mount. When we were actually looking at it, you notice that the light had this in it. I actually figured out what size bolt can go in there, and then it'll be held from turning, so it'll be facing out, and then we could put a nut there, so it'll have a mount in 3 different spots. Um, there's also a way I can make this adjustable. This version isn't, but because of this extra hole that I don't know what the fuck, I think it had to be for some kind of adjuster. Can actually make this adjustable with a little bit more like effort, especially if we're going for something that's like super detailed, like the final lens or final housing. I could have it adjustable by a few degrees, and shit like that. But a lot of this detail. Like if I was just printing this bracket or this, like any of these parts, a printer could do it in decent detail. I don't think it can do all of it, like as one piece in decent detail. And then the way the housing's set up now, it's gonna be kind of fucking hard to separate. But yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Let me know if you think you can get these lights in there. Again, this one just has a bolt on either side, so this one's much easier. Um, the only other idea I had, other than doing this, was so I can go back far enough. But yeah, so my idea of splitting the cone separate would have worked if I could automatically give this part thickness, like you can, this part where you can see through. It's thickened, but there's not a good way to automatically just make everything that much thicker. I could do it on fenders and shit, but something this complicated, it sucks at it. So I ended up having to build it all manually. So everything here is at least 5 millimeters thick, but some of it's obviously way thicker. But that was a nightmare. But anyway, so the only other idea I had was, instead of giving you like this bolt face here to mount the lights into, was actually to build like a carrier. So fucking huge cube. So something like this. So this plate, or like just a bracket, I could obviously cut this way down, but this plate would have all the mounts. All of this would be gone. So this plate would have brackets built into it to mount the lights to it. And then this would attach to the housing rather than the lights directly attaching to the housing. That would be another way to do it. That would be easier for a printer to print. And then the housing would basically just be like, all this would have to do is slip over the lights at that point, because everything else would be removable from the back that way, if that makes sense. But anyway, let me know your thoughts.